Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Renee Box Young, man. We're doing it live, definitely something new. That's why on my image there, it's boxing and more, much more. We're going to talk about some Bkfc Knucklemania. Oh my gosh. Oh, this is some good stuff, man. Thank you guys for jumping in. Those who are jumping in, Mac, I see you. Bruce, thank you guys so much, man, for waiting, tuning in. Kind of a couple minutes late, man. Chopping some things up with my guy Lavar, and I hope everyone's doing great. I hope everybody's safe. I hope everybody had a wonderful weekend, man. It was Super Bowl weekend. I didn't even see it, but it is what it is, right? It's all good. I hope you really enjoyed it. I'm seeing, all over social media, the GOAT, Brady or whatever, right? I mean, great, good stuff. Hats off to him and his win, what I'm saying, to the team. Wonderful event over the weekend. And we had Knucklemania also to launch off the weekend, man. So, I'm excited about this. Why? Because we're going to break this stuff down. Definitely, man. Knucklemania was the first BKFC event as far as what they did, launching Knucklemania. And I'm sure they're going to have more, man. So we really got to chop this stuff, man. We got to chop this up, and I'm excited because also here, obviously it's primarily boxing community. And I really kind of want to, I guess, break this down for those who don't watch it, maybe BKFC. I've said it time and time again on this platform where, I appreciate, the boxing elements in all combat sports, kickboxing, MMA and BKFC, definitely. BKFC is more inclined to boxing. So this is why from time to time I watch it. But first and foremost, man, how you doing, Lavar? How you doing, bro?
I'm doing good, brother. How about yourself, man?
Pretty good, man. Just, ready to start the week off. And like I said, bro, last week, I don't remember if we were live or not. I don't remember. But seems like the more I do lives, the more I'm, motivated. And I just love it, man. The energy that we have, Lavar, it seems like you're my sidekick now. Definitely, bro. And I like the energy, the chemistry we have. And the more we do this, the more I want to go live. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, man, I appreciate it, man. Like I said before, man, by me coming up here onto your platform and talking about boxing or whatever type of sport, man, like I said, is helping me come out of my comfort zone. So, man, I really do appreciate you, man. And salute to everybody in the chat. Mac of the South, my brother, Bruce Goes, man. Hey, everybody, salute.
Geo James just jumped in. I see you, man. Khalil 98. Thank you so much for jumping in. And like I said, I'm excited because this is something, before, like I said, this channel is growing. Thanks to all you guys. I appreciate the community. Love each and every one of you, man. Thank you guys so much for jumping in. And before the channel started growing, incrementally, because lately it's been growing. So I just thank you so much. Thanks to the platforms, 503 Lion that just invited me. They constantly, sometimes, not too often, but because sometimes there are times when they go live, 503 Lion invited me the other day. Ackereacher, Jab Jamboree had invited me on his platform. Blue Blood, the family right there, Blue Blood, Black Star. I mean, the list goes on. Mahari, these guys, man, they have invited me, and thanks to them, I just thank each and every one of you guys, and I'm excited because, like I said, before it started really growing, the channel, I would sometimes post videos on BKFC, and I'm excited because now I can share this, with my guy Lavar. He's into BKFC also. And obviously my first love is boxing. But as I mentioned a moment ago, I appreciate the boxing elements in BKFC. Ladies and gentlemen, you're in for a wonderful treat today, man. So first and foremost, Lavar, how's the weather over there? Is it warming up a little bit?
Yeah, it's warming up a little bit over here in Virginia, man. But I can't complain. Went out there this morning, man. Had to move my truck because my fiance, she parked her car in the garage. So I was like, oh man, let me hurry up and get back in the house. But it's warming up a little bit.
Oh, okay. Yeah, down here in Mexico, man. I mean, I remember, as a matter of fact, I remember Stormy B-Man. Salute to our guy, Stormy B-Man, man. And I forgot what show it was. I think it was on Friday night. I don't remember, man. He was going over a fight with, Curtis Anderson, the historian. Which fight was that? Oh, it was Duran. Roberto Duran. Yeah, Roberto Duran versus Hagler. Yeah. Man, and I tuned in late on that one. Man, I kicked myself in the butt for that. I could watch the replay, but I started watching from like round 11 or something, and it was a 15-rounder. And why I say this, because Storm B-Man with his chit-chatting and stuff, and I think it was after the fight, he was talking about the weather. It was snowing, and I said, you know what? I told him in the chat there, I think it must be beautiful seeing the snow over there, And he's like, oh my gosh, yeah. He's like, no way, man. What are you talking about? The reason why I say it, because here in Mexico and where I grew up, I mean, I grew up in Arizona. So, I mean, we don't see snow. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it does snow like in the woods and stuff like that, Payson and those areas, you know, little towns, small towns around the city I grew up in, but far out there in the mountains, really don't go there. So, but, you know, generally speaking, where I come from, it don't snow, man. You know what I'm saying? And where I'm at right now, it doesn't snow. Wonderful weather, you know, seems like springtime all year almost, you know, obviously in the rainy season, a lot of rain, but, you know, I never see snow, you know what I'm saying? So, I thought, you know, from that perspective, it must be beautiful. But, you know, down here, the weather's nice, man. It's nice all year. So we're kind of also, Lavar, warming up here, you know, so it's wonderful weather down here. I think the highs is maybe 88, high 88 throughout the day. So, you know, the lows maybe 50 degrees Fahrenheit, you know, in the morning and the evening. So it's wonderful. It's wonderful. So thank you guys for jumping in the building. I see y'all. Fight Words with Syph. Bud, what's going on? Soccer Training Club. Man, we got a treat for each and every one of you guys. So let's get to it, man. Let's talk about this. Now, to lay a foundation, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know how much, you know, those who are tuning in and those who will tune in afterwards or what have you, right? Watch Bkfc. Now, got to make something clear here. I remember, you know, on the Boxing Then and Now series that I had, you know, with the OGs, Storm B-Man, Curtis Anderson, Reggie Owens also, we talked about the origins of boxing in one of those episodes. I forgot which one it was. I think it was episode 2 or something like that. I got the playlist there on my channel. Y'all can go check it out. But we talked about like the origins of fight in the boxing. You know, it goes way back, obviously, you know, to ancient times. But like generally speaking, like the birth of bare knuckle fighting, it was back in the UK area, okay? And, you know, man, Curtis Anderson just broke it down. Dude, beautiful stuff right there, man. What he says, what he has to offer, you know, when it comes to the history of the sport of boxing. So I think if I'm not mistaken, around the UK, around those areas, it was birthed. In the United States, ladies and gentlemen, in the Americas, over in this side of the pond, BKFC has been, you know, known as an official sport. It was birthed, BKFC, in America a couple years ago. I think maximum 2 years ago. So it's a very new sport. Lavar, did you start watching it when it started, you know, coming out, or did you recently start watching BKFC?
I started watching it when it first came out.
Okay.
And then I started, you know, getting, you know, back into boxing. But I'm glad that I got back into it, man, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, the thing here, the only thing I get kind of disapprove of BKFC, and I've said it time and time again on my channel before when I would push content on BKFC, from here and there, I push content on BKFC. So, and I do really appreciate the boxing elements. I got to repeat that because you'd see beautiful boxing techniques in BKFC. Obviously, some of the fighters are kind of sloppy. You know, they get kind of, you know, a little bit too, because a lot of MMA fighters go in there and former pro fighters. And I'm not talking about like Charlo guys, you know what I'm saying? Charlo status, Spence, you know, no. You know, some pro boxers who have been in boxing professionally for just a few fights, you know, but they bring that into the squared circle, and it's beautiful. Some of, you know, so some of MMA fighters, you know, go in there and, you know, they want to brush up on their boxing, they train, and you see it exactly with, you know, Paige and Hart. You know, Paige, she was in, you know, UFC. You also see it with Beck Rawlings. She was also in UFC. So we're going to break those things down a little bit in a moment. But, you know, I really appreciate the boxing elements. It's kind of gorish. It's kind of bloody, you know what I'm saying? Because obviously they don't have no gloves. So, but you got to appreciate it. And what's beautiful about BKFC, ladies and gentlemen, is that the squared circle is smaller. As a matter of fact, I went back and watched Paige. She fought Beck Rawlings in UFC. And they're in BKFC now. So that octagon is humongous. It's huge compared to the squared circle in BKFC. So it serves for a lot more action. It serves for they have to do something. You can't just stand around and, you know, running around. I mean, you know, I get it. You do that with work. I mean, there's just enough room in the squared circle to use footwork, to use your defensive skills, and to also use your offense. I mean, there's just enough room. It's just a wonderful dose of action. What do you think about the action in BKFC, Lavar?
Man, I love the action, man. I mean, to be honest with you, it's like what you said. The ring, it's small. So the ring is a 22 feet diameter circle ring with 3 ropes, and the center of the ring is a 8-foot circle where the fighters begin to fight. So the ring is very small. So it's like what you said, Renee. They don't have a lot of space for them to move around. So they have no They pretty much got to go, sit in the ring and just go at it pretty much. But I love it, man. I really do.
They got to toe the line and knuckle up.
Yeah,
Oh
absolutely.
man.
And you're right. It's like there's no boxing gloves, so it's like pretty much what, hand wraps, pretty much.
Yeah,
And
pretty much. Yeah, like
they,
for the wrist to support the
yeah,
wrist.
correct. Yeah, correct. So it's like what you said. They put their toe on the line and then they knuckle up and they go out there and they get it on.
And I didn't know it was 8 feet. Wow, that's a small area, and like I said, it's just enough. You got some fighters, for example, Hart, for like Hart, who fought Paige in the main event. I mean, there are so many points I want to talk about here, but Hart, she fought Beck Rawlings some time ago in Bkfc, and she was using the ring. She was using the squared circle with her footwork. There's just enough room for that footwork. Sam Shoemaker, heavyweight bare knuckle fighter there in Bkfc. He uses the ring a lot too, the squared circle, and there's just enough room. But you never see a lack of action. You really hardly ever see that. You know what I'm saying? There's always action in Bkfc, and they got to do it. They just got to go and commit the offense, and there's just enough room for a great amount of use of footwork and a good amount of a balance. That's the word I'm looking for. A balanced amount of use of footwork in the squared circle. So it's beautiful. It's just beautiful, man. So let's get to this, man. Now, this is something I want to point out. One of the points I want to talk about, when Bkfc was birthed, I started watching it like Lavar when Bkfc was declared an official sport in the Americas, in the United States. So David Feldman is the founder. Okay, David Feldman kind of reminds me of a Dana White. Obviously, not physically speaking, like their physical attributes, whatever. But David Feldman was he has a pro career in boxing, just like 4 fights or something like that, just a few fights. So he has a little experience, and I said it when it was birthed. I got a video. Out there. It breaks down Bkfc, like Lavar was saying right now. The size of the squared circle. Some of the rules. Obviously it's growing. The judges are getting acquainted on how to judge fights and things of that nature. There's a rule where they can clinch with one hand and they can punch with the other. So they can just keep going at it, man. While one person clinches the opponent or what have you, they can keep going. So, I mean, there are certain rules to it, right? Kind of similar to boxing also. You can't hit in the back of the head, rabbit punches, low blows, et cetera, et cetera. So now David Feldman's a founder. And what I've been saying ever since Bkfc came out, man, I've been saying this on my channel, that Bkfc is going to grow exponentially. We see now it's still a new sport, ladies and gentlemen. It's new. This is new. And it's been growing exponentially. They're already doing pay-per-views, Lavar.
Oh, absolutely, man. And it's growing. And the reason why it's growing is because, it's like what you said, Renee. You have some of the fighters, they came from the UFC, and some of them have come from the sport of boxing. So, definitely for the fighters that are coming from the UFC, I know a lot of us want to see how they will pan out in the ring. So this is their opportunity to be able to get in the ring to see what they're made of, Granted, yes, we did, get a taste of that between Floyd Mayweather and Conor McGregor. But for some of the lower weight classes, I was happy to see Paige in there because I wanted to see how she was going to do. Because I know sometimes for the UFC fighters, I know like when they're in a boxing event, they want to kick, they want to be able to use their legs, right, but they can't. So, but yeah, man, I love it, man. I love it. And yes, I can definitely see that it's going to grow. Definitely it's going to grow.
It is. And the thing here is that, like I was saying, the founder, David Feldman, okay, he said this time ago, and I mentioned it in one of my videos on Bkfc. I forgot which video it was, but I did mention it. David Feldman came out, and it was exactly what I've been saying. Like I said, when Bkfc birthed, I pushed a video explaining and breaking down the squared circle, some of the rules and things of that nature, the founder, blah, blah, blah. And I said there, it's going to grow. This sport is going to grow exponentially. And sometime after that, David Feldman came out and said that, that they're definitely growing. They're signing so many new fighters. They're getting venues that they never had before, the biggest venues they've ever had before, pay-per-views, now Knucklemania. I mean, and look at Lavar. I mean, look, this is what I'm saying, bro. the sport of boxing has to learn from this. I mean, I just talked about it recently. Clarissa Shields talked about it. The GOAT, you know what I'm saying? She talked about it recently. How women's boxing should be pushed and promoted more. I talked about it also in a recent video, McCaskill, versus Breckus rematch. I mean, you don't see women fighters, bro, in boxing as main events. And here in Knucklemania, ladies and gentlemen, Paige versus Hart was a main freaking event, bro. I mean, this is a main event, woman main event. You see it in UFC also, if I'm not mistaken. Like I said, when we go back to Paige versus Beck Rawlings in UFC, if I'm not mistaken, that was also a main event, if I remember correctly. But my point is that, Knucklemania, David Feldman, the founder, he knows how to push his events. I mean, you got women fighters. I mean, you would think Bedford versus Guin, right? Dat Guin, the Asian guy right there. You would think that they would be the main event, but no. David Feldman organized it in such a way where he put Paige versus Hart as a main event. Man, don't you think that's awesome, Lavar? Woman as main event.
Absolutely, man. I love it, man. For me, yeah, I love seeing guys fight, but man, I even love more when females go at it, because I want to see the feistiness. I want to see that anger come out, man. So it was awesome seeing those two Paige and Hart fight, because man, it was some bad blood between the both of them, man, especially at the weigh-ins. I don't know if you caught that.
Yeah, oh, I definitely did. And the thing here is that, let's get to this. Did you see? I'm not sure if have you seen Beck Rawlings and Bkfc?
No, I haven't.
Okay, look, Beck Rawlings, she's a fighter, a woman fighter in Bkfc. She fought. It's interesting because Beck Rawlings fought Hart. Okay, she fought Britton Hart and in Bkfc, and she also fought Paige in UFC. Okay, and the reason why I say is because, like you're saying, women generally speaking, Beck Rawlings, bro, she can box, man. I mean, she fought Hart. I don't remember when it was, maybe a year and a half. It was no, it wasn't Bkfc, it was fresh, bro. I think it was in Bkfc too. If I'm not mistaken, Beck Rawlings fought Hart. If anybody hasn't seen that fight, going back and watch it. It was a great fight, man, because Beck Rawlings, I got my eye on her. Beck Rawlings has some skills in boxing, bro. She's just patient. She's very composed. 1-2s. She's very smart with her defense, keeps her guard up. I mean, beautiful boxing abilities. She beat Hart. She beat her well. I mean, she boxed her out wonderfully. You know what I'm saying? So, just women, generally speaking, women in BKFC, man, some of them can really box. I mean, they can really box. Paige, as her first debut PKFC fight. Let's get to that first, and then we'll get to the co-main. I know it's kind of weird. We're doing the main event first, but now that we're speaking about women and stuff like that, we'll go to the co-main after that, because the co-main, I'm sorry with the pronunciation, Gwen, or however you pronounce it, with all due respect, that Gwen versus Bedford. That was like, dude, that was action, bro. That was a hard fight, man. So they were both like main events to me, man. I mean, what I'm saying, these were both like main events. So, but first I want to talk about these women, okay? Paige versus Hart, because, we're breaking down the women and stuff like that right now. So Hart has experience in BKFC. Okay, she has experience. She fought Beck Rawlings. She fought other fighters in BKFC. Beck has learned. I've seen, she really grew. She has grown in her boxing abilities. Paige, it was her debut. She boxed pretty well, though. What's your general reaction on these two fighters? Under fight.
For Hart, man, yeah, you can tell she's been in there before. Because man, she was to me, I think she picked Paige apart, man. She was able to use her jab against Paige, and Paige was struggling with that jab. So you could tell that Hart's been in there before, and she felt comfortable. And to be honest with you, I think from the rounds 1 through 4, to me it was all Hart. Like I said, she was able to counter. She was able to use her jab. She was able to mix it up a little bit, and you can just tell that Paige was a little, I wouldn't say how can I say it? She was a little uncomfortable, in there. She was trying to find her range and stuff like that. And to me, I feel like Paige didn't come on until like that 5th round. And I think that if Paige would have pushed the pace, I think she would definitely had won the fight. But she didn't push the pace until the 5th round. I don't know if you saw that, Renee.
Oh, of course, of course. Yeah, Paige. I guess that's the disadvantage she had. It was her debut, and I think that was a disadvantage just for the fact that debuting against Hart. Like I said, Hart has experience in BKFC. She's fought the best in BKFC, bro. And that's another point I wanted to say. In BKFC, ladies and gentlemen, okay, real quick. I'm kind of backtracking a little bit, but it's necessary, okay? Because like I said, there are several points I want to talk about and bring out. You know what I'm saying? Okay, getting back to the founder, okay? The founder, David Feldman, okay? He was saying that, on the whole in the build-up, right before the fight, right before, when they were, standing around talking or what have you, in the lead up to this fight, in this Knucklemania main event, he was talking, to somebody. I don't know. I don't really know the names of the commentators and stuff, but he was talking to people and saying that, I remember he said something like, I remember, talking about, how Dat should fight Bedford, Bedford versus Gwen, how that would be a mega fight. That would be just the best against the best and this and that. We got to make that fight. And they made it. And you constantly see that in BKFC. You see the best fight the best, bro. And this is that's what makes these fights so exciting and events so exciting. So the thing here is that's why I see, to a certain extent, Paige had a little disadvantage because she was going against Hart, bro. Hart has fought the best out there. I reiterate, she's fought several BKFC fighters, and Beck Rawlings is one of them. Beck Rawlings, man. Like I said, ladies and gentlemen, keep an eye out for Beck Rawlings, man. I mean, she's just a great BKFC fighter, man, boxer. And, Hart has experience. And for Paige to go against the Hart, my hat's off to Paige. My hat's off, man. She went in there and she wanted to fight the best. Hey, that says a lot about her heart. You know what I'm saying? That says a lot about Paige's heart. And just like what you said, Lavar, and the first 4 rounds, bro, Hart was just dominating. She was doing very well. She was just boxing, using her skills, the jab, footwork. I mean, maybe I think that Hart can work a little bit more on her defense. I think she has to have her guard up just a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? Head work, head movement. You know what I'm saying? Just to work on a defense a little bit more. But generally speaking, man, I mean, yeah, Hart had the 4 rounds. And like you said, Lavar, this is going to serve great though for Paige's experience. It's sad because in the post-fight reaction, if I'm not mistaken, Paige didn't show up, bro.
Yeah, no,
yeah, she didn't.
You're exactly right.
And I think it's because she was so maybe discouraged. I really don't know. We're probably going to see in future interviews why she didn't. I think she was discouraged, bro. But she has nothing to be discouraged about, man. Nothing. Because she came in and she fought Hart, a really great, BKFC. She's a boxer. She's a great boxer in BKFC. Hart is a great boxer. So she came in and fought the best, man. One of the best out there in BKFC, and nothing to be discouraged about. And like you said, Lavar, I mean, if she had done what she did in round 5, in the prior rounds, there would have been a big possibility of Paige winning because check this out. In the post fight, Hart said that she hasn't been hit as hard as Paige hit her. Paige has power, bro.
Oh, definitely. I can tell you this. Like you said, my hat's off to Paige. Paige belongs in there, man. She really does. Yep. I mean, she didn't look tired. I think she was just, trying to get her rhythm,
Getting
it was her first fight.
Right,
exactly. So she was just trying to adapt, to everything. So she definitely belongs in there. She really didn't take that much damage. I mean, I think she had, her eye, I want to say it was her left eye was, puffy, but nothing too major. So I can tell that she belongs in there and she's going to do great. Her conditioning was great. She didn't get tired. That's why she was able to push, because Hart did, tire her out. So like you said, Hart definitely needs to work on her defense, but she also needs to work on her conditioning. And I know with our lives, Renee, I keep talking about conditioning. Definitely in combat sports, you definitely want to make sure that your conditioning is up. Because, with Knucklemania, they're doing you want to make sure that you can, last longer in the fight, pretty much. So I think that if Hart can do that, if she can work on her conditioning and tweak her defense, she'll be really good. But like I said, Paige, hats off to her. You can tell that she can definitely do it. So I hope she comes back and going up against Hart for her first fight. Yeah, that was pushing it. But I would like to see her come back and maybe go against like a lower tier.
Yeah.
So that she can get comfortable and then go in there and do great things, man. She did well. I can say that she did well, but you can definitely tell when a fighter belongs in the ring and when they don't. But she held her own last night.
She did. That was a Friday night, right?
Friday night, excuse me. Yes.
I know there are so many events, bro. I don't even know which night sometimes. I know. No, but yeah, she really did. And she has nothing to be discouraged about. And I think that's one of the reasons why she didn't go attend the post-fight, the post-fight press conference, whatever. I think she was kind of discouraged, maybe. I think Bedford, the founder of Bkfc, when he was there in the press conference, I think he alluded something to that, that she's just gone. She took off. So, yeah, I think she was probably maybe discouraged, but she has nothing to be discouraged about. And I totally agree, bro. She should, come back and go ahead and fight a lower tier. And she's going to really show up and show out against that lower tier fighter. If she does come back and fight, I'm sure she's going to, like you said, she fits in. Paige definitely fits in BKFC, bro. She has a style. Excuse me. She has a conditioning. She has a discipline. I mean, she's a fighter, bro. She's a fighter, man. My hat's off to these warriors, Paige and Hart. They put up a wonderful fight, and it serves for so much action and entertainment. She's another great element in the sport of BKFC and women's boxing, bro. I say boxing because it's boxing. I mean, we got to understand, gentlemen, this is boxing. So, I mean, this is exactly why I wanted to go live and talk about this. Lord willing, in the future, me and Lavar can go more on talking about some of these events. Like I said, I think I made a mistake in our last live, and I said Ansel Adams. No, it's Arnold Adams. Sometimes I get mixed up with names. Arnold Adams is another wonderful heavyweight, man, in BKFC. Shoemaker. I mean, you just, there's a list out there. So, amazing, beautiful main event, bro. Amazing. But like you said, Hart, she came in, showed up and showed out 4 rounds. She dominated the fight, mostly at least. Obviously, Paige, and I'm getting back to that, Hart did say that Paige, the hardest she's been hit was by Paige. So Paige has power, bro.
Yeah, she definitely has power, and I think with Paige too, she needs to prepare herself mentally. And the reason why I say that is because I know that Hart got to her mentally because after the fight, she kept telling Hart to stay humble, be humble. So I think Paige got to realize, if you can get over the mental part, everything else will come to you. So she just got to. I really think that she has to understand that her opponents are going to try to come after her mentally. So she just has to prepare mentally as well, not just physically.
No, well, that's the thing here, though. I think that's another factor that affected Paige in the first 4 rounds, bro. Because you can kind of see it in her eyes. I don't know if the word is timid, but she was just like, trying to find out, you know what I mean? And she saw Hart as the dominant one. And she's probably thinking in her mind, is this for me? I mean, I'm kind of out of my element. You know what I'm saying? It didn't look like the original Paige like you've seen in UFC. For example, UFC, like I said a moment ago, that you go back to, and one of the fights that stick out to me a lot in the UFC with Paige is when she fought Beck Rawlings, because Beck Rawlings is now in BKFC. Paige is now in BKFC. And, when Paige fights in the octagon, she flows. She flows. She could have, that's the thing here. The footwork that Paige uses in UFC in the octagon, she could have used in BKFC as defense. I mean, she's so light on her feet, bro. If you go back and watch Paige in her, in the octagon in UFC, she's light on her feet, bro. She's just jumping. Beautiful, beautiful footwork. And then she goes in, bop, bop, and she knocked out Beck Rawlings. This was years ago. I don't know when. I don't remember when. But when she fought Beck Rawlings, Paige in UFC, just in and out, pop, pop, and then using the ring, she just floats on her feet, bro. Beautiful stuff, man. Obviously, it was at a lower weight, I think, and when she fought in UFC, like 10 pounds lower. But still, I mean, what I'm saying here is that she could have used that footwork in the squared circle in BKFC, which she didn't really use. So she can use some of the things she used in UFC. Those are tools. Those are effective tools she can use in BKFC, but something, and I think it was, getting back to what you're saying, Lavar, that I think it was, part of it was a psychological game. And the thing here in BKFC, man, ladies and gentlemen, they're, you know, the psychological part you have to conquer because, bro, and the face-offs, they're intense, Lavar. You know, they're intense in all the face-offs. Most face-offs, bro, these fighters want to fight, man. They're gonna speak in your face. They're gonna offend you. They're gonna, you know what I'm saying? And that's what Hart was doing. And hey, it looked like it worked to a certain extent against Paige because, like I said, I think that was an element that was limiting Paige in the first 4 rounds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree, brother. I definitely agree, man. Like I said, she it it seemed like she was there physically, but mentally she was just trying to find her way.
Right.
And like I said, if she would have just pressed the action, I definitely think she would have got Hart out of there. And another thing, Renee, that I noticed about Paige too, and hopefully you saw it as well. So when you're in the ring, you know, you pretty much got your fist balled up to like throw punches, you know, protect yourself. It seemed like she had her hands cuffed, like they weren't closed.
Right.
I don't know if you noticed that, but
I didn't notice
so
that
I'm
part.
like,
Yeah, I
why?
wasn't paying attention to that, huh?
Yeah, so I was like, so if you're able, when you have time, if you go back and watch it, it's like she had her hands cuffed and not closed. So I'm like, well, you know, doing, you know, this is not they're not slap boxing. You know what I mean? So I'm just like, why isn't she keeping her hands closed? You know, that's extra time that she has to do when she wants to throw a punch. She's gonna have to, you know, now close her fist to strike. So it just seemed like she was just off. But I think a couple more fights she'll be there. You know, it's like what you said, the movement's there, the speed is there. You know, I really thought that she was gonna use her speed, but we really didn't see it until round 5. So I mean, hopefully she'll go back and watch the fight so that she can tweak her mistakes, and then just, you know, get back in there because, you know, there might be a time where she's probably gonna have a rematch with Beck Rollins. So she's gonna, you know, most likely they will end up getting it on again, especially if they're both in bare knuckle fighting. So I can't wait to see it. I think it's going to be great. And for, like I said, for Paige to step up like this, you know, hats off to her.
Definitely, man. Hey, Chris Reyna, what's going on, family? Thank you so much for jumping in, Chris Reyna. Yeah, we're just doing something new, talking about some Bkfc Knucklemania, definitely, man. And that's exactly another point I want to talk about. That, you know, and if anybody hasn't seen it, I reiterate, go check it out, guys. Go watch for both fighters, Hart versus Beck Rawlings, okay, and Bkfc. And Paige versus Beck Rawlings and UFC. Just amazing, man. So that's another point I wanted to mention, that, you know, if this would serve for just another amazing fight, Paige versus Beck Rawlings, but now in UFC, I'm sorry, now in Bkfc, wow. Obviously, Paige has to grow more because Beck Rawlings is levels. I mean, bro, like I said, ladies and gentlemen, y'all got to keep an eye out for Beck Rawlings. I mean, this girl can box, man. She's one of my favorites. And obviously, I don't do much with favorites, but I exalt the sport, whether it be, you know, Bkfc or boxing, above, you know what I'm saying, favoritism. But when it comes to abilities and skills, man, Beck Rawlings, wow. And that would just be amazing. And that would gain more attraction. That would gain so many more viewers. It would pull in a lot more. When you see somebody like, you know, an event like this, Paige versus Beck Rawlings, wow, you know, they have a rivalry since UFC. I mean, oh man, a lot of people would just flock to that fight, man. I mean, it would just be, but Paige definitely has to work on some things, man. But she's game, bro. Paige, it's not even over for her. And I understand to a certain extent it's going to be discouraging, you know, your debut fight, you know what I'm saying, in Bkfc in a big platform. Because like I said, ladies and gentlemen, Bkfc is going to grow whether we like it or not. It's going to keep blowing up, bro. It's been blowing up. It's just 2 years old. It's just a couple years old, bro. Maybe 3 maximum. It's a baby sport, bro. And look how it's growing, Lavar. Look how this thing is growing, dude. So this is Knucklemania. I'm sure sooner or later, maybe next year or something like that, it's going to be Knucklemania 2, or I don't know how they're going to project the time frames when it comes to, you know, Knucklemania 2, 3. I mean, they're going to just be pushing these things, man. And these events, I'm sure, in the near future. And it was a definitely successful event, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, Paige definitely has, you know, her her spot in BKFC. She has the skills, she has the tools. She just has to utilize them a little bit more, with her training, team, and just work on things, what I'm saying, that she has to work on. Like you said, Lavar, to conclude with this fight, round 5, Paige was doing great, bro. Paige was doing pretty good. She started, bumping up her offense more, leveling up on her offense, really going in there. You know what I'm saying? She can use a little bit of, I think that she can use a little bit more of her footwork that she used in the UFC, in the octagon. Use that footwork, be a lot on your feet. You know what I'm saying? Work on that defense a little bit more. And that's pretty much all she needs. And to increment that offense a little bit more, because she has the power. I mean, Hart admitted in the post-fight reaction, in the post press conference, she said, Paige hit me. She's the hardest she's been hit by Paige. Paige has power. She has knockout ability. You know what I'm saying? So she just got to work on those aspects. And Hart, man, hats off to her. She got the win. Pretty good win, man. Great victory. And I reiterate, I think this was amazing that it was a main event, bro. Main event, woman, BKFC, good stuff. Anything else to conclude this, bro?
No, great fight, man. Like you said, you hit the nail on the head, man. I would have liked, to see Paige, what she did in round 5. I would like to see her do that earlier in the fight. But like you said, man, it was a great fight. Seeing 2 women go at it and pretty much in a phone booth ring, man, it was awesome. It was tremendous, man. And I can't wait for the next event. And I believe they have an event in March. I want to say like March 5th. But I definitely want to check their schedule to see the exact date. I don't want to put out a false date. But I know there's one next month. Renee.
Yeah, they're constantly having events too, man. So that's another thing, ladies and gentlemen. Boxing community that's jumping in. I mean, and in the future, those who may tune into this. I mean, like I said, ladies and gentlemen, BKFC is worth watching. Okay, it's definitely worth watching these fights and some of these fights out there. And another thing I wanted to point out before we conclude these fights, these 2 fighters, and we're going to get to right now, Bedford versus Gwen. Hart, bro, when they clinched up, that's something that really stuck out to me in this fight. Hart did great on the body shots, man. She did great in the body shots. She was when Paige was clinching up with Hart would take advantage on the inside and boom, boom. But she threw like 7 punch combos to the body, bro. Hooks to the body on Paige's body. Ouch, bro. She would just dig in. Ha ha ha. Oh my gosh. Did you see that?
Yeah, I definitely saw that, brother. And I'm glad that you pointed that out. Yes, she did. Even in the clinching, she did. It seemed like Paige was more head hunting. She did. Paige did land a nice uppercuts, but yeah, man. It seemed like when it comes to bare knuckle fighting, yeah, it's easy going to the head, but I really think you should go to the body. And then you know what they say: you go to the body, the head will follow. So
exactly.
Yeah. Hart, she was just going to the body, man, trying to slow Paige down. But like I said, by her going to the body, Paige, she slowed down a little bit. Like I said, it would have been nice for Paige just to push the action. If she would have pushed the pace, because there was times where she was backing up Hart, then man, Hart would have got tired and maybe Paige would have got her out of there.
Good point. And that's another thing. That's very true, bro. Very true. It seems like bare knuckle fighters, they're more into going to the head, and you're definitely right. If they would work a little bit, and there are some fighters that, Gwen, he goes everywhere, bro. I mean, we're gonna get to that in a moment. Oof, good stuff right there. But yeah, Hart has that experience, and that's what I love about it. Hart, she goes to the body, man. When she sees opportunities and she gets clinched up, she doesn't just go up, upstairs. She takes advantage while she's, bent over a little bit when she's clinched, and pop, 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 pop. She just looks at the body and bam, 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 bam. And, that really affects the opponent. So, I mean, these bare knuckle fighters definitely have to work on that a little bit more. Hart does it. There are a few fighters out there that do it, you know what I'm saying, that go to the body. And that's just key right there. Going to the body, man, definitely. And like you said, man, sometimes BKFC fighters are a little bit more prone to going upstairs because of the knockouts. There's a lot more potential to knockouts. There's a lot more potential in damaging upstairs because it's bare knuckle. That's the advantages they have right there. So, I mean, that you understand that point, but definitely, like you said, got to go to the body a lot more. So yeah, man, it was a great fight, man. Great main event, man. I really enjoyed it. So now let's get to Bedford versus Gwen, man. Bedford and Gwen, check this out, ladies and gentlemen. If I'm not mistaken, they came in this fight undefeated, bro. And to be undefeated in BKFC, we're not talking about pro boxing, ladies and gentlemen. We're not talking about, because the thing here is that now it's not knocking pro boxing. It's just understanding the two different sports. Because in pro boxing, Lavar, you have multitudes and multitudes and multitudes and multitudes and multitudes of fighters out there that a lot of fans don't even know about. You got pro fighters in pro boxing, bro. I mean, in pro boxing, you got pro boxers that a lot of people don't know about. You see what I'm saying? Because they're climbing up the ladder. So it's a little bit easier, or maybe a lot of it. It's a lot easier for a fighter to be undefeated in pro boxing. I mean, we got to set that straight, because pro boxing has been around for eons. You know what I'm saying? And it's the opportunities are open, which is awesome, you know, in pro boxing for fighters that are coming from the amateurs, coming from the Olympics, blah, 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 for them to enter pro boxing. So that's awesome. You know, the doors are wide open in pro boxing. I mean, it's easier for them to get in, and there are a lot of pro boxers out there. So do you agree with that, bro, that it's a little bit easier for pro boxers to be undefeated?
Oh yeah, man. I definitely do. And you know, when it comes to pro boxing, man, it's all about matching them up with the right opponent. You know, if I'm getting off topic, Renee, please reel me back in. But I think it.
No, go ahead, bro.
I think the organizations, they want to make sure that their fighter stays undefeated, because they think that a loss is going to ruin their reputation,
exactly,
their look, and that's not the case. You know, I would rather, if I was a boxer and let's say, Renee, you're my opponent and I lose to you, I'd rather, you know, go down trying, you know, show a lot of heart, so that would help me gain more fans. So I think the sport of boxing, and I love the sport of boxing because I grew up on it. You know, my dad, like I said, you know, watching Pernell Whitaker growing up, Floyd Mayweather, you know, James Toney, Roy Jones, you know, Evander Holyfield, the list goes on and on. I became a diehard boxing fan. But when we don't get the matches that we should get, then that's going to have people gravitating over to other combat sports. And if boxing doesn't watch out, you know, bare knuckle fighting is going to take over, because a lot of fans want to see knockouts. So where are you going to see knockouts at? Bare knuckle fighting.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying, Renee? So it's and like you said, I'm not knocking boxing at all. You know, that's my you know, but you know, when you have a Bud Crawford and a Errol Spence, you know, not signed to fight each other, and I get it, it's all about timing and stuff like that. It kind of dampers, you know, the sport, because we want to see the fight, the best fight the best. But you know, with bare knuckle fighting, the best is fighting the best, and UFC, you have the best fighting the best. So I honestly, I just, like I said, boxing is my love. I love it, my favorite sport. But I just want to see the elite fighters fight each other, and not fighting somebody that we know that they're going to win. I want to see a boxing match where it's 50-50. We don't know who's going to win.
Exactly. And the thing here is that, you know, we're seeing that quite often in BKFC, for the fact that I understand, for the fact that there aren't a multitude of fighters out there in BKFC. It's really growing though. But as far as fighters, I mean, fighters are just getting signed left and right, you know what I'm saying, to the magnitude, to the extent of they were even talking about inviting Mike Tyson to fight in BKFC, which I don't think is going to happen. But the point is that they're reaching out, man. You know, Shannon Briggs was talking about getting in there. I don't know. Supposedly he was signed. BKFC even posted that. I made a video on that some time ago. You know, supposedly Shannon Briggs was signed to fight in there, but what the heck what's going on with Shannon Briggs? I don't know. He's way up there in age, but whatever. The point is, it's reaching out to that extent. So the reason why I say this is because, you know, fighters are getting signed left and right in BKFC. So as of now, at least, but I think that it's going to continue. This trend is going to continue in BKFC, where the best are fighting the best. Gwen and Bedford. That was a perfect example of the best fighting the best. They were both undefeated. Okay, so for this is what I'm getting at, Lavar. To be undefeated in BKFC, that's a major accomplishment, bro. in BKFC, you don't hear much of, oh, he's just a tomato can and just another guy. No, I mean, yeah, of course you got fighters up there that are up there in age in BKFC, but you don't. It's hard to be undefeated in BKFC, Lavar. It's hard. and Gwen and Bedford, they were both, if I remember correctly, okay, maybe maximum they had one loss, but I don't think so. From what I remember correctly, these guys were both undefeated, bro, and they face each other. You don't wait long. That's the wonderful thing about BKFC. You don't wait long for the best to fight the best in BKFC. There's another fight I really want to watch. Sooner or later, I heard that they're going kind of back and forth now about it, and that's another beautiful thing about BKFC, Lavar. You don't hear much. These guys don't go on Twitter. These guys aren't, oh, okay, I'll knock you out in the second round. Oh my gosh, did you hear what he said? And then you wait 2 years later for that fight to happen. No, you know what I'm saying? You don't hear that nonsense here with these guys and these ladies. You know what I'm saying? You don't hear, oh, he said in the shower that he's going to, KO this guy. And, oh, he really said, oh my God, oh, the contract is 50-50 and I don't want to. No, you don't hear none of that, bro. That's what I love. That's what I really appreciate. And yeah, go ahead, LeVar. Are you going to say something?
No, I was laughing because you're exactly right, man. So I want to say Bedford's record before the fight was 8-0, and I think
I was going to say 7-0, 8-0, something like that. Go ahead.
So they, so like you said, they're not waiting. They're actually putting them in there, the best in there with the best, so that they can see who's going to win. So honestly, man, it was a great fight. I mean, great fight. Hey, salute to Eric R out there, man. I see you, man. Salute. Thanks for tuning in. It was a great fight, action packed. To be honest with you, man, that win, man, he's a beast. Like he has a chin. He was taking shots. And Renee, he only had 4 weeks to train for this fight, and he didn't have a trainer. He trained himself.
Bro, and look at it, and look at his face after the fight, man.
Right. So, and he's like, well, could you imagine what I could have done to this guy if I would have had a trainer and I would
just 4 freaking weeks? He trained himself?
Yeah.
I didn't get that part. Wow.
Yeah. 4 weeks. He trained himself. And
my gosh,
and I'm like,
dude.
And unbelievable, bro. I'm like, wow. So he
to fight Bedford, man.
Exactly. And Bedford, man, he's no pushover.
Bedford got some skills, yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I've seen him fight a couple times in bare knuckle fighting, and I'm like, oh my gosh, man, he's the truth, man. So just imagine if that win would have had a full training camp. Oh my gosh, man. You can tell he used his boxing experience because he is a prior boxer. He had a record of 20-3 with 7 KOs. So he used angles. Man, he was mixing it up. He was going to the head and the body. Like he'll strike to the body, go to the head, and that kind of threw Bedford off. But man, they were going at it, man. You can really tell that wins body punching got to Bedford because Bedford, he ended up getting tired.
Definitely. And just for those who are tuning in, Eric R., thanks so much for jumping in, man. Thank you guys so much for jumping in, man. When Lavar says Dat, that's the Asian fighter's first name. Okay. Just so you guys can understand that there. So the guy on the right is that. No, it's fine. It's fine. The guy on the right, just for those who maybe not know. Okay. The guy on the right is Dat Gwyn. Okay. It's the Asian guy. And the guy on the left is Bedford. So we're talking about that fight right now. And exactly, dude, I didn't even know that. 4 weeks. Oh my God. Gwen. Yeah. Okay. Dat Gwyn. You see his prior fights, and he's just an amazing boxer, bro. And I love watching him box. He can box. He boxes. That's his forte. And obviously, that should be the forte of most BKFC fighters. But I understand some come from MMA, and they're getting the hang of it and blah, 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 just like we talked about with Page versus Hart. Okay, but Bedford also, and this is the thing here. This was the best fight in the best, bro. Bedford, he was really, really discouraged in the post-fight, you know what I'm saying, when he lost, post-fight press conference. And but we'll get to that in a moment. But getting to the fight, okay, because there's so many things I want to talk about here with these guys. Like what you said, Lavar, Gwen was going to the body. He knows how to effectively go to the body. He knows how to go upstairs, when to go upstairs, his defense. I mean, dude, this guy, when you're fighting an offensive fighter like Bedford and Gwen, to fight how he did and to do exceptionally well against Bedford. Bedford was fighting, bro. He was bringing it. Now the thing here about Bedford, I think one of the reasons that led to Bedford's loss was because he was clinching up a lot, right, Lavar? And he was trying to push him up. Yeah, he was trying to push him up against the ropes. And I think that that wasn't good, okay, as far as in Bkfc, and in general, what I'm saying, even in boxing and pro boxing, you don't want to be clinching up all the time. As a matter of fact, in boxing, you already know that's a veteran move, to clinch up a lot when the fighter is taking advantage or what have you. It's a veteran move to clinch up because, to avoid the shots getting thrown at you, whatever, to stall your opponent in his game plan and to have him reset and et cetera, et cetera. The jab works for that too. But Bedford was clinching up a lot. I think that Bedford was probably thinking, wow, this is more than I expected. Do you think so, Lavar? With Bedford clinching up so much.
Yeah, I think so. But I think that style threw him off as well. Because like you said, he was mixing it up. And some of Bedford's prior fights, he had his opponent was standing there like straight slugging with him. But that was able to bring angles, movement, body shots, headshots. Now, and what impressed me about that win, man, he's 38 years old.
Yeah, and man.
And he was taking shots on the everybody, when I'm talking about getting clocked on the chin, he got clocked a couple of times and he kept coming forward. So I don't know if you saw that, Renee, but man, that is something special, man, and especially at the age of 38.
Oh, wait a second. Okay, now that you mentioned that, because that's another point. Like I said, there are several points, bro, in this fight. Okay, Dat Gwen, Dat Gwen, okay, he reminded me when I was watching the fight, he reminded me so much of Pacquiao in this sense. Because when when Pacquiao fights, when he gets hit, you know what Pacquiao does a lot? It's signature at Pacquiao. When he gets hit, he punches his gloves together. Have you noticed that? And he said, "Oh, let's go." Yeah. And he wants more, dude. That's exactly what Dat Gwen does. When he gets hit, he touches his jaw and he wants more. Oh my God. It riles him up even more to fight, bro.
Or like when he was hitting Bedford clean, he'll have his arms out like
yeah.
Love it.
Oh my gosh. And he does that constantly in his fights. And he's like, oh my gosh, dude, that's amazing from Dat Gwen. And when he gets hit, it's like it makes him want to fight even more, dude. He doesn't back off, like you said. He doesn't back off, and he counters you. So what happened was when Bedford would land nice shots on the chin, Gwen would come right back and land like 3-4 more shots, combos, and that's when Bedford would clinch up because he didn't like you said. I think it overwhelmed. I think the style of Gwen and his approach, overwhelmed Bedford, man. So he just started clinching up. But what did Gwen do? He was taking advantage on the inside, man. But the thing here is that Mugliata, I think his name is, famous UFC referee. Now he's in Bkfc. He helps out there. That's awesome. Great ref. And he was telling Gwen, but I don't blame Gwen though. I don't blame Dat Gwen because look at the size advantage too. I mean, Bedford was taller guy, dude. So he's taller. So the thing here is that Bedford was overwhelming Gwen with those clinches and clinching up to a certain extent where Gwen was trying to push him off because he wanted to box more. So he's like, get off of me, get up. So he wanted to box, and he was kind of not choking him, but like trying to push him away. And the ref was like, hey, no choking, no choking. It's not necessarily that Gwen was trying to choke Bedford. He was just trying to push him off. You know what I'm saying? He was just trying to get away. I want to box, and that's just beautiful from Dat, bro. He was boxing so wonderfully. And I don't think it was such a close fight, bro. Do you?
No, I don't. I think rounds 1 and 2 could have went to Bedford, but I think from rounds 3 to 5 was Dat. Dat, man, he was just bringing that. It's like, he does remind you of Pacquiao because it's like what you said, when Pacquiao gets hit, he'll bang his gloves together and then he'll come straight forward.
Exactly.
And Dat kept doing the same thing. It's like, okay,
yep,
I'm still here. And I'm like, man, this dude is 38. And I'm like, and he's taking punches like that. And I'm like, man,
This
Could
guy's
you
a
imagine if
freaking machine, dude.
absolutely, bro? Can you imagine if he was younger? Like, oh my
My
gosh.
gosh. And if I'm not
I think that
mistaken, oh, go
Mhm.
ahead, go ahead. Yeah, go
No,
ahead, go
no,
ahead.
go ahead, brother. Go ahead. No, you got it. You got it. Go ahead.
If I'm not mistaken, he has another job, bro. I think he works in a restaurant or something.
Yeah, he does, man, and that's bare knuckle fighting for him is just I wouldn't I'm not gonna say hobby. It's not a hobby.
But just like a
Um,
side thing, yeah, or
a
something.
side thing for him to do. So yeah, but he loves it, and now that he's the undisputed champ,
Yes, sir.
undis. So and there's not other belts out there. I mean, there's other belts out there, but you don't have other fighters
Yeah, there are.
with
You're right.
different types of belts. So he's the undisputed because Bedford was the undisputed champion. So,
Yep.
like I said, Renee, that was a great fight. And like you said, that was the best fighting the best. And to be honest with you, they have more fighters that are in bare knuckle fighting that are really, really good.
Yes, sir.
So
Yes, sir.
it's gonna be good, man. It's gonna be good. Like I said, boxing is my number one sport, but it's like what you said, Renee. A lot of people criticize Floyd Mayweather because he's running. Well, if y'all want, if y'all don't want to see fighters running or anything like that, tune into bare knuckle fighting because, like I said, that ring is smaller. They have no choice but to fight. There's no running. They can't do that in that sport. So, with that being said, I mean, you should definitely check it out. And for the fans that love to see knockouts, you're definitely going to see some knockouts um, on those cards because pretty much the cards that they have is really good. You know, there's a lot of UFC fighters that are fighting in bare knuckle fighting, and like I said, there's a lot of boxers. So, man, it's going to be good.
Now, the thing here is that, and also want to point out this in the post press conference, whatever, right? With Gwen and that Gwen and Bedford, um, Bedford wants a rematch, and Gwen, dude, that Gwen wasn't like, oh, I'll think about it. I got to talk to my team. No, he's like, all right, let's bring it. Bring it. Oh my gosh, dude. How many times do you hear that, man? You see what I'm saying? So these guys, man, they're
Right.
ready to fight. They're ready to fight. And it just served for a wonderful fight, man. Gwen versus Bedford, like you said, undisputed. I forgot the weight division. I think it was 135. I just don't recall real clearly. But Bedford and Gwen put on an amazing fight. And the thing here is that, ladies and gentlemen, it's not only just knockouts here in BKFC, also, guys. It's sometimes it's common for fighters to go to 5 rounds too. But you just get
Yes.
action in that sucker. You get action in that thing, man. You know what I mean? You get action in these fights, man. All 5 rounds is action, great entertainment. And like I said, right now it's on BKFC, and I intermingle to a certain extent pro boxing with this because we see the boxing elements and the sweet science in BKFC also. So you also see, ladies and gentlemen, you also see wonderful footwork. There are
Yes.
some fighters that use more of the footwork. For example, I reiterate, Sam Shoemaker, he's a heavyweight. You also see beautiful, kind of like Canelo, Arnold Adams. Go back when you guys can. Go look up Arnold Adams versus Sam Shoemaker. Arnold Adams versus Sam Shoemaker, heavyweight fight. They went to 5 rounds, and Arnold Adams beat Sam Shoemaker. And Sam Shoemaker, he's one of those footwork guys. Uses the jab greatly. Oh my gosh, great heavyweight, man. But he beat. Arnold Adams beat Shoemaker because he was using his upper body movement, man. He's going down. He was, man, his head movement, kind of like Canelo, not the same, obviously, but dude, skilled. So you see people there, man, with really great skills, man. And this is another, fight that I'm anticipating is Sam Shoemaker versus Beltran. Beltran is one of those reigning guys in the heavyweight division, man. I don't know. I don't even remember. I think he is a champ, but, man, Beltran versus Shoemaker, they kind of went back and forth recently, and they're like, let's make the fight. Let's do it. So I'm sure we're going to see that fight sooner or later, ladies and gentlemen, and it's not going to be too long before we see that fight. So that's another highly anticipated fight. And Bedford and Gwen, they're talking about possibly a rematch. So obviously they're going to get their rest up. Did you see LeVar Bedford's face?
Oh yeah, man, I did.
Was torn up.
It was torn up, man. You can tell that um that when punches was affecting him, and like I said, that when he was mixing it up, he wasn't just going for the head. He was going
Exactly.
body into the head, and he was bringing angles. So like I said, man, it was great, a great fight, man. And hey, salute to Eric R and D Hodges, man. They're in the building. What's going on, Kings?
JC is also in the building. Thanks so much, man. Let me get to Eric Garner's comment. It's great stuff right here. Hearing forces well on him. Did you watch it, bro? Did you watch it, Eric Gar? Awesome. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing. You know, that's the thing I like here. I like to meld in different, sports. Obviously, boxing is number one. But also I like to appreciate the boxing elements in Bkfc. You know what I'm saying? So, and a little bit of UFC. I've talked a little bit about UFC in my channel too. So we got here Eric Gar saying he influenced his will on him. And all that played a mental role. Wow, that's very true. When you feel like you're fading and your opponent is just getting started, that's true. Like we were referring to earlier, Lavar, that, Gwen, he just kept going forward. And when Bedford would give him his best, Gwen was like, Pacquiao, come on.
Yeah.
Let's go. He was touching his jaw. Come on, man. Oh my God. I was like, this guy's a nonstop machine. This guy, Gwen, dude. I think it's genetics. Also, do you think that's it? Also, Eric, I'm sorry, Eric, Lavar, do you think that also that Gwen didn't really get cut in the face because it's genetics? Maybe it's the skin complexion. I don't know what the heck, how you call it, but I don't know. Maybe he doesn't get cut easily.
I think it has to deal with just skills, man, overall skills, and
Yeah.
and it's like what Floyd Mayweather say. The less you get hit in boxing, the longer you can stay in it. Something of that. So I mean, it just all depends, because think about it. Look at Gabe Rosario. He gets cut a lot.
Right.
And I'm talking about boxing. It all depends, man. It just all depends. I think skills pay the bills. Also, just it all depends on having the right cut man in your corner too. So, on your team. So I think it just it depends on the skills of the fighter. Can genetics play a part? Absolutely. Genetics can play a part. But with him, man, you can just tell with that when he just brought his boxing skills. And and Eric R brings up some great messages about the difference between running from a boxer and having skills. Floyd, man, he had skills. Floyd didn't run that much. You got to appreciate
Very true.
his boxing IQ was just higher than any of his opponents. So but at the end of the day, man, it's that win he's going to be a force to be reckoned with. And Renee, I don't mean to be talking so much, but I'm from
Go ahead,
Virginia, right? I'm from Virginia Beach, Virginia, and we have a fighter representing us in bare knuckle fighting too, Reggie Barnett Jr. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'm so happy you mentioned him. Oh, yeah. I was just gonna mention him a moment ago. I just couldn't get the name off the top of my tongue, and I pushed videos about him, a while ago. Like I said, I reiterate, in the introduction of this video, of this session, that, before this channel really started growing, I pushed a couple videos about Reggie Barnett. Man, I love Barnett. That boy can box, man.
Oh yeah, box. Man.
I don't know how many pro fights he has. He has some pro boxing fights, but that guy can box. So he's from your area?
Yeah, he is, man. He's see, I was born in Norfolk, Virginia, but I was raised in Virginia Beach. So he's from the Virginia Beach area. So Norfolk and Virginia Beach, they're like 10 to 15 minutes away from each other. So yeah, he's pretty good. I was able to catch his fight against Travis Thompson. That was a good one. So yeah, man, he can definitely box. He has some power. So I know he got it. He was the one that got in the ring and called out that win on Friday night.
Oh my gosh, I didn't see that. What? Wait. I didn't see that. Okay. Wait a second. Reggie went in the ring to call out Gwen?
Yeah, he did.
Oh my gosh, that would be amazing fight.
Yeah. Because
gosh.
Because I want to say that Bedford, he ended up beating Reggie Barnett.
Yeah,
want to
yeah,
say that.
yeah. I recall one of Barnett's
Mhm.
losses. I think it was against Bedford, bro.
Bedford, right, right, and it was a good fight
It was
until
close, dude.
until mhm. And I think Reggie Barnett got caught.
Yeah, yeah, it was close in the lead up. Like, I mean, he was doing very well. Man, I love how Barnett boxes. He has all the skills. He uses his footwork. He's real focused and composed. You can just see it how he has his guard up. You know what I'm saying? He's looking. I mean, very alert. His reflexes are amazing. I mean, I didn't know that though. He went in the ring to call out Dak Gwen.
Yeah, definitely. At the end, so like I said, when you have time, go back and if you can watch it. He got in there and he wants to take on Dat Win next. And that's when
Oh
Dat was like,
man.
he's like, I trained myself for 4 weeks for this fight. Can you imagine if I take a full training camp? He said, I will crush Reggie Barnett.
You know, I mean, like we always say, styles make fights. So in this case, I think that it would be challenging for Gwen, though. I think it would be a challenging fight for Gwen because of Reggie Barnett's boxing skills. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he would clinch up as much as Bedford was clinching up against Gwen. And Bedford clinching up, that gave, like you were saying a moment ago, it gave a lot more opportunities for Gwen to fight on the inside against Bedford, which is why Bedford was so cut up because he was just getting too close. You know what I'm saying? He didn't know how to use the defense as well, right?
Right. Yeah, he didn't use his reach, and that was a
Right.
problem.
Yeah.
He allowed Dat Win to get inside, and when
Exactly.
Dat was able to get inside, man, he pretty much like broke him down. So at the end of the day, man, this is what I don't understand about some fighters, even in the sport of boxing. You know, why is the smaller man backing up the bigger man? I just that bothers me. You know what I'm saying? Um,
Yep.
and once again, I'll go back to Caleb Smith and Canelo.
I was just gonna
You
say
know,
that. Yep.
exactly. It's like Smith, you're the bigger man. Why aren't you using your height and your reach? And I get it, but uh, I don't know. I know it's probably easier said than done, but you would think that if you're the taller fighter, that you would try to use your height and your reach. And I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Dat Win is not a big. He's not a big guy.
No, he's not. No, he's not.
Yeah, and he's not a big guy, but he's able to use the skills that he learned from boxing, man. And granted, his record was 20-3. But at the end of the day, he was able to bring that in there, and he was able to push the pace. That was another key to his victory.
And the thing here is that the reason why I say that stylistically, Dat Gwen, if anybody doesn't know who that is, check him up, look him up, and you'll find him. Reggie Barnett. Okay. The reason why I think stylistically Reggie Barnett versus Dat Gwen would serve for a more entertaining fight is because of their styles, bro. Lavar, Reggie's not going to sit there on the inside and walk into punches, or he's not going to clinch up much. He uses his footwork amazingly. We would see the sweet science to the T in BKFC with these two opponents. It would just be amazing, bro.
Absolutely, because like I said, Dak Win comes from a boxing or he has a boxing background, and Reggie Barnett, he has some
Yep.
really great boxing skills. I know that I think Reggie Barnett was an MMA fighter, but he can strike. That boy, he can crack.
Yes, he does. He's very intelligent in the ring and the squared circle. D Hodges in the building. Thanks so much for jumping in, man. JC, all you guys for jumping in. Thank you guys so much for jumping in. Slowly but surely, you know what I'm saying? I want to be obviously including, like I've been saying on my channel, you know what I'm saying, BKFC content, you know what I'm saying, but mostly boxing, obviously. You already know boxing is where it's at, you know what I'm saying? And BKFC, got to appreciate it, you know what I'm saying? And introduce this to some of the boxing fans out there and some of the community out there that probably don't watch BKFC. And you know how I am, man. I just love the sweet science, and we see so much of it, beautiful elements of the sweet science in BKFC. For those who are jumping in, man, we're just talking about it, breaking it down right now. So if anybody hasn't seen Reggie Barnett, just go to BKFC, just put, on YouTube, BKFC, Reggie Barnett fights, and you're going to see what we're talking about, ladies and gentlemen. You know what I'm saying? Let me get back to the comment where we are talking about a moment ago. Eric R. bringing out some beautiful comments that Lavar was describing here. It says, I have to say something about the running comment. Excuse me. There's an answer to everything. You cut off the ring and apply pressure if your opponent is running. Right. With Mayweather, it was slipping. He stayed there. Yeah. Remember, oh man, there's so many Mayweather fights. Remember Lavar when he did exactly this against Canelo, bro? Oh
Right.
my gosh, he was slipping the punches so beautifully, bro, and
Right.
countering and just footwork, and man, loved it. Loved it. That's exactly what Eric R. That just popped out of my head right now. That stuck out to me when he was talking about that. Slipping. Mayweather slips beautifully. Master. I'm saying Eric R. continues to say running is when Oscar felt he had
Yes. 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 He's talking about when Danny Garcia, right? Oh no, Josecito Lopez. I think that's when Josecito Lopez caught Thurman with a body shot.
Yeah. Josecito, yep.
Yeah, that's who it was.
Actually, it was both, bro. It was both. It was when Thurman fought Pacquiao. He was doing the same thing when he got him to the body. I remember, for a round or two, I remember he was just running around, bro, because he got him to a body shot. You can tell Thurman was hurt. Josecito did the same thing to Thurman, and same thing happened. Yeah, exactly.
Right. So, yeah, man, he's right about Floyd, man. Floyd was a master of slipping and dodging, man, and making and turning fighters, man. The way, making them, when they will miss, he will turn them. So, man, you got to give Floyd his credit, man. And, like I said, Renee, people are going to love him. People are going to hate him, but people are going to pay their money to see him win or lose. So at the end of the day, Floyd got you either way because he's taking your money.
Yeah. Hey, this is beautiful. Eric R says too. Look at, check this out, man. It's awesome. He didn't catch the bare knuckle fights, but how we're breaking it down, bro. Look at this. I'm breaking down the fight as you're describing it. I'm an artist, so I can visualize what I hear like I'm there. Wow, that's awesome stuff. And that's exactly one of the purposes of this show, man. That if you guys didn't catch it, the way we're breaking it down, you can visualize it in your mind. Photographic memory. You know what I'm saying? Use the right side of the brain. The right side of the brain is the creative side, is the imaginative side. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people use a little bit too much the left side of the brain. You can use the right side of the brain, the artist side, the creative side, the imaginative side, the picturesque side, and you can visualize what we're talking about. Great stuff, man. We got here Eric R continuing to say here, Floyd was a master. I understand this. And yes, he exposed fighters who didn't, and out of their frustration, they said he ran. Right. Oh, that's true. They would get frustrated and they would, come on, in the middle of the ring. And yeah, that's very true. Very true. They would get frustrated. And that's another point of Mayweather, Lavar. He would frustrate not only would Mayweather, we talked about this some time ago also in one of our other lives, that Mayweather would play the psychological game against opponents in the lead up to fights, but not only in the lead up to fights, while they were fighting, Mayweather would play a psychological game in that he would frustrate them so much because of his amazing defense. Okay, this kind of reminds me of, listen, ladies and gentlemen, you see, that's why I love about this, ladies and gentlemen. When we talk about Bkfc, we talk about sweet science, we mix in pro boxing because it's boxing. Bkfc is boxing. I mean, it's not MMA, right, Lavar? It's not MMA. These guys don't kick. These guys don't knee. Guys don't tackle. It's boxing. So you see what I'm saying? But in a more raw sense, as far as when that they don't use gloves, more, the squared circle is a lot smaller. Right? We were talking about a moment ago. Lavar talked out that, it's 8 feet. It's a small squared circle. There's more action. They can use their footwork, but to a certain limit and extent, but they can still use it. It's just beautiful. Anyways, so so Mayweather would frustrate his opponents in the fight, during the fight. First 6 rounds, he schooled him. And this reminds me of like what I'm saying, moment. This reminds me of, watch this, ladies and gentlemen. You never seen Lomachenko like this, okay? What Lopez was doing, Teofimo Lopez was doing against Lomachenko. He was frustrating Lomachenko, ladies and gentlemen, to the point where Lomachenko started throwing low blows and headbutting. Did you notice that, Lavar?
Yeah, I did, brother. I definitely did notice that.
It was out of Loma's frustration, bro. And just exactly what Eric R is saying here. It's exactly what saying, he would frustrate them during the fight, and they would say excuses. No, you're just running. And, during the fight, he was, Teofimo Lopez was the same thing against Lomachenko, bro. I mean, during the fight, he started headbutting, and I could tell Lomachenko was really frustrated. And you're definitely right, Eric R. Eric R. continues to say here, so much goes into understand this. We say exactly, even down to your upbringing. Yes, if you don't have a strong father figure to instill instructions to you, how can you listen to a coach? Very good point. That's a very good point. And I personally think that the father-son, relationship. Obviously, not all coaches are fathers in boxing, but we see effective, very effective, helpful chemistry between father-son relationship, coach-son relationship. We see it with Porter, right, and his dad. I mean, there are several examples out there. I think that not the best example. There's obviously downsides to it. For example, who was it? Guerrero, the ghost or something like that when he fought Mayweather.
Robert Guerrero.
Yeah, Robert. Thank you.
Mhm.
That father-son relationship, coach-son relationship. I think that coach, his dad is limited in how to coach. I mean, that's just my humble opinion, bro. Because I've heard him time and time again in the corner. Robert Guerrero's coach, his dad,
Right.
respect him, but I've heard him in the corner, bro. He doesn't give the best advice. Sometimes he just says, "Go in there and fight him," and of course, I mean that's not the way. You know what I'm saying? There's no technique. There's not much strategy, which is why I think Robert Guerrero, man, his career, his career isn't what it could have been.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? But a lot of father-son relationships, though, coach-son relationships, we see it with Jerome Ennis. I mean, there are several examples out there. It's very effective. It's very effective and helpful for fighters in their careers. I mean, just like what Eric R is saying, man, definitely some, and that's very true, Eric. Lavar, we see fighters out there that haven't been grown up, just generally speaking, their upbringing, just like what Eric R is saying. You have fighters out there that don't have a father figure in their lives, bro. And it really affects them and how to listen to a coach.
You're absolutely right, man. And that's where that coach has to mentor that child. For me, man, like growing up, I kind of sort of had a rough childhood growing up, but I was able to overcome that, thanks to my dad. But there was times where, I was living with my mom and, I was kind of sort of reckless a little bit and my dad had to reel me in. But, I've come across, kids that don't have a father figure. So it's all about, that coach mentoring that child, and then there's other programs out there where you have Big Brother, Big Sister, where they can get mentorship as well.
No, sorry, I just had a time unmuted my mic. You're definitely right, bro. Definitely right. And we have here Eric R continuing to say here. I remember that. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, that's true. Oh my gosh, man, Eric bringing that knowledge here. Thurman ran from Collazo. I remember that Colosso. Yeah, I know I'm butchering it. No, it's all good. Lopez and with Manny, he tried to not run so much, but adversity tends to override the brain, and you go back. Yeah. Very true. Muscle memory. Yep. You remember that? Lavar, when Colosso got him to the body too?
Yeah, I remember Luis Colazo, man. I remember that fight. Yeah, he did, man. Because it was a great body shot by Colazo, man. Luis Colazo, man. He was a good fighter, man. He wasn't no pushover, man. He brought that heat to his fights, man.
I guess one of those gatekeepers, I guess you can say, right? I don't even know if that guy's still fighting, but yeah. He really.
Yeah, I don't think he's fighting. I don't think he's fighting anymore. He took some time off. He came back. I love that knockout that he did to Victor Ortiz, man. When Ortiz tried to get back into the sport, man.
Right?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's another guy. Fight. I think Ortiz. Yeah, there was. I think. Ever since the Berto and the Berto 1 and 2, Ortiz, beautiful fights, man. That's another fighter, man. Victor Ortiz. I wish he has the skill. He had the skills to really come up, in the sport. But and then after fighting Mayweather, and it seems he kind of dwindled away, unfortunately. Then he went out to acting or something like that. And I heard he's probably coming back or something like that. Have you heard that?
Yeah, I heard that he's trying to make a comeback. Yeah. Honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you. I think when Victor Ortiz went up against El Chino, Marcus Madonna, Madonna, man, he's taken a lot out of fighters, man. I'll never forget that fight against Victor Ortiz. Victor Ortiz took some punishment, and during the interview, because Victor lost, Victor was like, I don't know if I want to keep taking punishment like this. That's when you could tell that mentally Victor wasn't there as a fighter, that he didn't want it.
Yeah, and the thing here, he kind of has a chin, so I mean, or not the best of chins, I guess we can say, right?
Right.
So yeah, I understand. I don't really know about him coming back. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like I said, yeah, go ahead.
No, I think maybe he can try it in bare knuckle fighting, But then again, man, Josecito Lopez broke his jaw. You know,
Another example. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, I don't think he should really, I just heard it. I just heard along the wayside, whatever the heck, right, in social media somewhere that he might be coming back, but I don't think it would be the best for him. I mean, he had the potential though, but I think one of his downfalls is like what you're saying, Maidana, and also like his lack of being able to take punches, man. I mean, just he was doing. I mean, he has the skills. Why? Because when he fought Mayweather, he was doing pretty good, man. But then he got stupid. Then he got stupid and emotional, and then he just messed it up.
Yeah, he did. He did. And Renee, I'm just gonna go back to Eric's comments about coaches, fathers being coaches. I don't see a problem with it because fathers and Bruce goes, man, he's out there. Salute to you, Bruce. Bruce said it as well. Some fathers that are trainers, boxing trainers, they do get their son to a couple of titles.
Right.
And there's nothing wrong with that at all. But some fighters, where their father is training them, they don't get that far. And I think with some fathers being coaches, they can only get their son to a certain point.
Exactly.
And once they get their son to a certain point, then maybe it's time for them to cut ties, And I know that Shane Mosley did that with his dad, Jack, especially like later on in his career.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. We have here, as a matter of fact, Bruce goes going back to here, the Lomo fight. If Lomo had started using offense, he might have an argument, but he got cleanly. Yeah, he got cleanly beat. Definitely, he's sour grapes and listened to his yes man. Yeah, of course.
I think he was afraid to get knocked out. I think he was afraid of being knocked out early in the fight.
And I'm really, how can I say? What's the word? I don't know how, but I lost my, how can you say, to a certain extent, respect for Lomo after he just started whining and pouting after losing. It's just like, dude, just hush. Just shut up, bro. You got the skills and abilities to come back. You're good. Okay. Recently, he's talking about he wanted to fight Tank Davis. Who's going to fight now? What's going on? Get back to fighting, bro. Loma, just get back to fighting and just get back and just get back. You know what I'm saying? That's another thing. Right. You know what I'm saying? That we're, these fighters just waiting way too long. Andy Ruiz, what the heck's going on with this guy? All you see is, Andy Ruiz, heavyweight, man. All you see him is in the Canelo gym, punching the punching bag or whatever. He's losing weight. Great for him. Mm-hmm. But he's not coming back, bro. I mean, oh, my gosh. What the heck is with these guys? After a loss, they kind of just disappear.
Well, it's like, come on. Dude. Right. It's like what I said when we talked last week. We've gotten through Thanksgiving. We got through Christmas. We got through New Year's. There should be some fights already lined up for the year.
Yep.
I don't know what's the holdup. I don't know if it's trying to find television time. Who knows? I'm not really sure, but it's time, man. I'm tired of seeing Benavidez and Charlo go back and forth. It's either you're going to fight or you're not.
That's another point. We're going to definitely go live again, ladies and gentlemen. Bruce goes, all you guys. Yeah, we're going to go live soon. I think tomorrow, but it just depends. Me and Lavar are going to chop it up backstage or whatever, behind the scenes. But we're going to definitely go back in this week to talk about boxing. Y'all know how it is, man. So we're going to definitely do that. We're going to talk that Charlo, Benavidez, recent interviews with Benavidez. Ooh, I got some things to say on this. Man, thank you for bringing that up, Lavar. Thank you for bringing that up, man.
You're welcome.
So we have, so we got here, Bruce, Lavar was referring to that. Wilfred Benitez, father, Giorgio, let his son, So that's facts, man. I mean, there are amazing advantages to fathers being coaches, and there are some minimal disadvantages too, because some minimal disadvantages, well, not minimal, but some big disadvantages of that can be like what Lavar's saying. Some father coaches can just take their fighters so far, their son, their kids so far in the sport, and it's time to grow. Sometimes fighters got to go up and grow and find another trainer. You know what I'm saying? The best coach father figure relationship I've seen here, or Eric are saying, was Stuart Hearns and Ward Hunt. Ooh. Father-son boxing duo struggle when the father's attentions are wrong. Dads need to trust the coach. Facts.
And Renee, with that,
go ahead.
With that, man, it's like with Robert Guerrero's father, man, it seemed like he wanted the limelight, and that's how sometimes I feel about Angel Garcia. I'm like, dude, get out of the limelight.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, man. And that's the thing, man. It's like they wanted the spotlight. No, the spotlight is not going to be on you. It should be on your sons. So and I think that's an issue as well. Like Robert Guerrero's dad, you're right. He couldn't give him any type of instructions at all. Nothing.
Nah,
Nothing at
nothing.
all. Especially against Mayweather. You go out there and fight him. Come on,
Yeah,
let
he
your
was
hands
giving those.
go.
Yeah, he was giving that
Yeah,
instructions when
like,
Mayweather was schooling him.
yeah, and I'm like, and then with Angel Garcia, I mean, yes, there's times where he's given Danny, he gives Danny instructions, but I just don't like when he wants to be in front of the camera. I know you're trying to sell the fight, but let your son do that. Your son should be able to do all the talking yourself, because it's like what Floyd said. Floyd said, your trainer can't fight for you. Your father can't fight for you when we're in that ring.
That's facts, man.
I'm just tired of the fathers trying to be in the spotlight. Just get out the way, do your job, get out the way, and let your son sell and promote himself.
I mean, there are so many examples out there. Another example that stuck out to me, my respects, bro, to Leo Santa Cruz dad. Man, that
Absolutely.
guy, hats off. He's humble, quiet. He stays in the background. He can care less about limelight. He's serious about his son and has been serious throughout the years. I don't even know if Leo is going to come back, whatever, right? But from what I understand, he announced retirement after fighting Tank, but then recently he came out again that he wants to come back, whatever they want to do. But my respects in the trajectory of Leo Santa Cruz's career and his dad. I mean, that's the type of, and there are more examples out there, obviously, but those are the type of examples of coaches, how father coaches should be. Even, Porter's dad, of course he speaks, but he keeps a limit. You know what I'm saying? His focus is in his son, being the best fighter he can be. You know what I'm saying? And like what you say, Lavar, I mean, to me, Daniel, and I think it's something that, like Danny Garcia and Robert Guerrero, I think that on the inside, deep inside, they know that what we're saying right now, but they don't want to speak up against because it's their dad. It's hard to do that. It's a difficult situation. Imagine confronting your dad and saying, "Hey, Dad, I mean, can you just please, how are you going to say that to your dad?" You see what I'm saying? That's the complex, difficult part.
Right.
And I understand it, but these dads, these fathers, like Angel Garcia, it's like, dude, I don't know. I can't find the words with Angel, but I think personally, also, Lavar, this is another example where Angel Garcia, he's limited, and he didn't even give good. What strategy was he giving him when he was fighting Spence? Not the best.
Nothing.
In the corner.
He was lost. See what they were lost, and I think they were banking on that car accident really affecting Earl Spence. When they sat up there and say, "No, we're expecting the best Spence," really.
But that's the thing.
No,
there,
they were
look.
hoping that the accident. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they were hoping, and that's another example we're talking about here. That's a perfect example of, and you can just see it in Danny Garcia's boxing ability. There was a limit years ago that should have been detected in Angel Garcia's limit of coaching. I mean, that's enough. You see what I'm saying? That's enough. You got to learn new things. Exactly.
And you want to know who was another coach and son that kind of sort of didn't know what they were doing? Joel and Zab Judah.
Oh, right.
And there's times where he was giving Zab instructions, but then there was time was nothing, especially against. See, Mayweather had a perfect plan, man. When he came in there with Zab,
yeah.
Hey, the first 4 or 5 rounds, Zab, you're gonna get the best out of Zab. After that, he's going to fade. When Zab got in trouble, man, Joel Judah didn't know what to do. He didn't know what to do. He didn't know what to say to him, and then Floyd just picked him apart. So, and there was times where he wanted to be in the spotlight. So some of these fathers got to learn how to step away and let their son handle business, because that can affect them. Because there's times where, and I know I'm going back and forth, but if you notice with the Spence and Garcia, Danny Garcia interviews, man, it seemed like Danny was getting annoyed with his dad.
Yeah.
And some of Danny Garcia's fights, it seemed like he gets annoyed with his dad, but he wants to be respectful to his dad, and I get it, and I understand it. But at some point, as a fighter, you have to tell your dad, "Hey, Dad, chill out.
Exactly.
Let me handle this."
and you have to tell your dad, you know what, we need another trainer to help us out here. I mean, we need to grow. That there needs
Right.
to be. Look at a perfect example here. Thank you so much, Eric R. Man. Likewise, we appreciate the work you and
Absolutely.
Renee.
Salute, Eric.
Yeah, man, definitely. It's all for you guys, man, definitely. And for the love of the sport of boxing, and we got to get back to boxing, even though it's BKFC. We got to get back to boxing because it's boxing. We love, you already know what the platform's about. So, a perfect example of this, Lavar, is when Porter. A while ago. Okay, this was a while ago. Okay, I really criticized Porter and his way of fighting. To me, years ago, I'm talking years and years ago, before he even fought Danny Garcia, before he even fought Keith Thurman, maybe around that time, but before that, and I'm not, because Spence was right in the lead up to the Porter and Spence fight. In a press conference, Spence said, "Man, you fight like you're swimming." It's true. Okay, Spence wasn't doing it to humble, or no, I'm sorry, to humiliate Porter. He was saying facts, man, and that's exactly that was my criticism. And some of the boxing community, I say some because a lot of people would say, "No, dude, that's just Porter's style," and he's a rough up type of fighter. And no, because I've been saying this for a while, ladies and gentlemen, before the platform started growing. I've been saying this in videos. I've been saying that Porter, he has the skills and abilities to fight clean. You just go back years ago, when he spars, when you look at his sparring sessions, very clean when he spars. He boxes beautifully, bro. And I give credit to Porter's dad, because when Porter fought, and I've criticized Porter before this in his fights, I would say he's just one of the sloppiest fighters I've ever seen. I mean, I would even compare Porter's fighting to Jeff Horn when he fought Pacquiao. That sloppy. I would criticize Porter a lot. I would say, Porter, one of the sloppiest fighters I've ever seen. I mean, he really has to brush up and clean up his game, because I've seen him in sparring, and he spars amazing when he spars. He's a really clean spar fighter. But just bring that in the ring. I don't know what happens between him sparring and the limelight when he's when he's under the lights, when it's fight night. Something happens and it just goes out the window what he learned in sparring. But credit to his dad, because when Porter fought Danny Garcia and Ugas, those two fights stick out to me. Porter really cleaned up his game, bro. He really cleaned it up. You didn't see that rugged, inside throwing punches all over the place, low blows, and head button, and he really cleaned up. And the credit goes to his dad. You see what I'm saying? So in those cases, we see where father trainers are very smart, very they know how to guide their kids, their sons or what have you, in boxing, cleaning up, growing, what I'm saying, and their skills. Have you noticed that, Lavar, with Porter?
Yeah, I have noticed that with Porter from the first time he came out till now. He's definitely changed up his style of fighting. And his dad does a great job with him. And I like Porter. I would love to see Porter and Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford fighting is mandatory, because then that'll allow me to see where Terrence Crawford, where he lies in that welterweight division, with having somebody elite on his resume. Porter has a lot to bring to the table. And when you sign that dotted line to fight Sean Porter, he's gonna bring it. And he trains, man. And that's one thing. He never comes into a fight out of shape. He's always in shape. And the thing is, man, he's a football player turned boxer.
Yeah, he wanted to be a football player on NFL, huh?
Right. So man, he's come a long way, man. He come a long way. And some of his fights, he should have got the knockout, but sometimes you can't get the knockout all the times if it doesn't come. So Sean Porter, he's a great fighter, man. My hat's off to him, man. His style, that come to style, and he's using his jab and all that stuff, man. He does listen to his father, and that's a good thing. When you have a son that listens to you, you can go far. What you got to watch out for is when your son is not listening to you anymore. Then that's when the son and the father should have that conversation about, hey, maybe you should get somebody else to train you. So like I said, man, but to answer your question, don't mean to go
no,
right
go ahead,
left.
bro. Go ahead, continue.
Sean Porter, man, I love his style of fighting, man. He's not afraid to mix it in there with the best. You got to give your hats off to Sean Porter. He is not afraid to get in there with the best, man. And if you look at
Yep.
his resume, he has some solid opponents on his resume.
And I think it's a lame excuse or argument, whatever, to justify Bud. And I've heard it out there. Justify Bud and not fighting Porter. I've heard it out there.
Oh, that's my best friend.
Why does Bud have to fight Porter? I mean, look at how many losses, and he lost against the best. Every time he steps up, he loses. But he's the WBO freaking mandatory, man. I mean, you see, there's no way to justify Bud not fighting. And recently, if I'm not mistaken, Bud came out and saying, Porter coming out saying that he does want to fight Bud. So, like you said, bro, Bud has to fight Porter, bro. Bud can do what the heck he wants. I can care less what his decisions are, because up to now, his decisions aren't the best, in my humble opinion, as far as, fighting those welters out there. I mean, whatever. Y'all know the story. But in my personal humble opinion, looking at this from a, neutral standpoint, Bud has to fight Spence, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry. Bud has to fight, Porter. That's the next best thing. The next best thing for Bud to do, because he's not going to fight Spence anytime soon, in my humble opinion. Next best thing to do. I mean, he's going to look worse, man. If Bud just sits around on this couch, I'm not on his couch. I'm just speaking metaphorically. I know he's always in the gym, whatever. But just to be sitting around there waiting for Spence, bro, go fight somebody else and just get your mandatory out the freaking way, man. You know what I'm saying? He has to fight. You know what I'm saying? That's the next best thing for Bud to do, is to fight Porter. And getting back to what we're saying about the father-son trainer thing, I think what you just said a moment ago, Lavar, I think one of the reasons why Porter and they have had so much success as father-son training relationship is because look at the maturity of Porter's dad, bro.
Yeah.
He's not acting like a teenager like some of these fathers act. We got to be real, bro. We got to be real. He's not acting like an immature teenager out there. He's not sitting there, oh, yeah, bleeping this and that. Dude, Porter's dad is a mature man. You know what I'm saying? And he's serious. He takes the craft seriously. And that's where father-son relationships in boxing, coach-son fighter relationships really flourish, and take their kids far, take their sons far in the sport. You know what I'm saying? And we're seeing that also to a certain extent, I'm saying, because I don't know what the future holds with Teofimo and his dad. I mean, I'm not taking anything away from these guys, man. I personally think maybe Teofimo is kind of, I don't know. Would you think he's getting on his high horse? I'm not sure. Maybe his dad is too, because it seems like he's getting kind of loudmouthy out there now, Teofimo and his dad. I don't know, man. I'm keeping a close eye on these guys because I don't know if they reached their limit. Do you think so, as far as a coach is concerned, Lavar? You think they reached their limit, or they got more to grow in?
I think they have more. They have more time, more to grow in, because, there's more fights out there for Teo to, more really good fighters out there for Teo to fight. You got Devin Haney. You have Tank Davis. That's where we'll find our answer. And I'm not saying Loma's not a great champion. Loma definitely, he's a definitely great champion. But I really think when we see Teo fight somebody like a Devin Haney and a Tank Davis, that's where we'll definitely see his true colors. Did he overcome adversity against Loma? Yeah, he did towards the end of the fight. And I'm not knocking Teo. He's a hell of a fighter. But I can tell you, he did make some mistakes that Loma just couldn't capitalize on. I think Teo, he can't fight off his back foot. So, and when he gets a fighter in there in front of him like that, we'll be able to, we'll see. So I think time will tell when it comes to Pop Lopez and Teo. I think they still have more time to grow with each other. But I think they should still stay humble.
That's the thing I want to say there. I don't mean to interrupt, Lavar, but that's the thing. I feel they're kind of getting on the high horse, bro. I mean, Comey was an amazing victory too. Man, Comey is a really good opponent, bro. He can box, bro. My respects to Comey. And that win also was amazing. But I feel that this is something I've been wanting to say, and probably can expound upon it a little bit more in our next live when we focus on boxing. I feel, and I've been wanting to say this for a couple weeks, I feel that Teofimo Lopez and his dad are kind of getting on their high horse, bro. Saying because of this whole undisputed thing, I think because of that label, they're really getting on kind of on the high horse, bro. I can just kind of see it in Teofimo's body language, the way he does interviews now. I don't know, bro. To me, it seems like that. And like you said, they just got to maintain that humble, mindset as they did throughout the whole career.
Right.
Of course, they had the loudmouth and stuff like that, but that's the confidence. That's great. But I kind of see a change in them, bro, and they really got to watch out with that.
Right. They can't. He wants to be a superstar. He's starstruck, and he's starstruck on himself. And you can't do that because when you do something like that, you lose focus. Now, see, you can have the hunger going after a title, but can you keep the hunger to keep your titles? That's what it's all about, because there's always somebody out there training to beat you. And when it comes down to this whole WBC undisputed thing, and shouts out to Blue Blood Sports TV, he said Tio is trying to convince everybody that he's the undisputed champion with by adding the WBC belts. No, correct me if I'm wrong. Loma dropped the belt, right?
Which one? The which belt?
WBC. The WBC.
If I remember correctly, that's how Haney got it.
And that's how Haney got it. So
yeah, exactly.
If the fighter drops that belt and Devin Haney he fights for it and he wins it, that makes him the champ. So why are they saying that Tio is the WBC champion? I don't. All my years of watching boxing and knowing boxing, that's I was like, huh?
It's odd. It's absurd. Yeah.
It is. And there's nothing that Tio can do to convince the public that he is the undisputed champion. There's no until he fights.
But that's what I'm saying. That's what makes me think and leads me to believe he's kind of getting on his high horse, bro. And all these things he's posting on social media of him being a Thor and all those belts, undisputed. I mean, I get it, bro. I mean, you're reveling in your win. That's fine, bro. That's but don't ride too much on that undisputed thing, man, because that's making psychologically that's boosting him up a little bit too much than maybe what he is.
And I agree, man. And it sucks that Devin Haney is being blackballed. And the reason why I say that is because I caught Fred from Barbershop Conversations. He was interviewing Bob Arum, and I caught that show, and he asked Bob Arum, he's like, hey, so is Devin Haney going to get a shot at Tio? And Bob Arum came out and said no. And then Bill Haney, Trill Bill, came up there. And
I remember that. He jumped in. Yeah.
He jumped in and he was like, why can't we get the shot? Why can't we get that title shot, Bob? And the only thing that Bob Arum was saying, well, Haney's going to have to wait his turn. So how long is he supposed to wait? And Mac of the South, he's right. He's like, Lopez scared to lose them belts to Haney. I agree. But you're the champ. It's either you put up or shut up.
No, and the thing that's going to discourage me even more, and it looks like that's what's going on. Because just like what D Hodges, shouts out to you, brother. Thanks so much for jumping in. He said if Tio never said I'll fight Haney in 3 to 5 years, that's when he lost me as a fan. You see that? If I'm not mistaken, that's what Tio said recently. So I it's gonna discourage me even more if Tio comes out and says, after being this Kambosos dude, whatever the heck, right? I mean, all due respect to Kambosos, but after Tio walks through this guy, I mean, I'm not taking anything like I like Kambosos though. I like Kambosos. I like his fighting style. But when you compare styles, Lopez is gonna take this dude out. But whatever. Okay. So, but he's probably gonna give Tio a nice war to a certain extent. But after beating this dude, something tells me that he's kind of gonna jump around, kind of like what Canelo. Obviously not as much, but I feel that because Tio's been expressing it in his team, I feel that he's just gonna jump up to 140 and just kind of avoid Haney with the I wouldn't call it an alibi. No, with the how can you say this, with the reasoning of, oh, I'm not going to fight Haney because I'm moving up to 140 to fight the winner, you already know, Taylor Ramirez. I think he's going to use that. I think he's going to use that to tell the public, no, you know what, I'm not fighting Haney because I'm going to fight these guys, I'm moving up. And then he's probably, when 135 changes the game plan, because of Tio not there anymore, then he'll jump back down maybe to 135. Oh, I'm going to fight a mandatory 135 just to defend my belt, just to defend my WBO or whatever the heck belt he has. So I'm not going to fight Haney for that because I got to go down and fight, my mandatory and defend my WBO. Oh, I got to defend my IBF belt now. But then after that, I'm going to move up again at 140. You see what I'm saying?
No, I definitely see what you're saying, Renee. But when it comes to Devin Haney, because I know Haney told, I want to say I caught Haney. I think I was on, because I have him on IG. I follow him on IG, and I think he said that the only reason why he's staying at 135 is to fight Tio. And I think when Tio moves up, I believe Devin Haney's going to move up.
Yeah, but then, okay, watch this. Hold on, Lavar. I don't want to jump in, but this might happen. Check this out. Check this out. I'm not knocking Tio. I mean, but the way they're moving now and speaking, this is what I'm kind of predicting. If Haney moves up to 140 to chase down Tio, and let's imagine, okay, Tio maybe wins, I don't know, whatever happens in the future at 140. Okay, and Tio's up there campaigning at 140 and staying there. Haney moves up. And like I'm saying right now, maybe Tio is going to move back down. Oh, no, I got to defend my 135 title. I want to keep the – you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
I just kind of see that happening, bro.
Yeah, no, I see what you're saying. I definitely and you're right. I can see that happening too. If that happens, man, oh my gosh, man.
I know, man. I know. So there's just going to be bad all around. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and see, and the reason why I follow him on IG is because I want to know what's his next move. What's your next step? But now that I know that, and I'm like, dude, you're not trying to fight the best out there. I get it that everybody has a mandatory. I understand that. I get that. But it's ridiculous, man. Let's give us the fights that we want to see, that we want to pay for. And during this pandemic, it's like, money is kind of tight for people, but we're willing to sit up here and pay to see you fight the best, and it's not happening. And I'm just like, it's fusing. It's confusing. And like what Bruce Go says last week too, man, it's like growing up watching boxing in the early days where you had the best fighting the best was a great thing. Now it's all about money. And I do understand that, because they got to take care of their families and their health. I get that. But, at some point you have to fight at some point. It's going to happen. So
and the money's out there. You know what I'm saying? It's out there. I mean, that's not too much of an excuse, because look at UFC. Look at the numbers are popping in pay-per-view, bro.
Right.
It's skyrocketing.
And it's skyrocketing. And like when Conor McGregor fought Poirier, man, it was almost packed in there, man.
Yes, sir.
At that event. So there's money to be made. And you're right. That can't be an excuse. There's money that can be made. And then again, it all depends on if they're a pay-per-view attraction. And Bud is not, man. Bud doesn't sell himself. He doesn't convince me to where I want to go out there and buy his pay-per-view.
Yeah, exactly, man. And I just hope, Tio really I don't know, bro. I just hope that's the game plan with him, that he beats Kambosos and faces Haney after that. Don't wait any longer. Don't move up to 140. Handle business at 135. If you lose against Haney, who cares? Great. What we want to see is that fight. You know what I'm saying? That's fine if you lose. We're going to respect you. You know what I'm saying? Move back up to 140 if you want, or not back up, but move up to 140 after fighting Haney, and then continue handling your business and your career.
And I agree. I agree. And that brings back to, maybe we could see some trilogies, man. When was the last time that we actually got to see some trilogies? With some fighters, man. It's been a while.
Of course.
So, that will be great, man. I just hope Tio doesn't try to duck the top opponents out there. And I hope he does fight Devin, because Devin deserves it. And stop calling yourself the undisputed, because you're not.
Exactly. That's the thing, man.
It is, and it doesn't matter what the WBC sent you in the mail. It doesn't matter. In your heart, how can you live with yourself and look yourself in the mirror, knowing that you're not the actual undisputed champion, but you want to say that you are?
And there are, and you know, just to people got to understand here. That's why I say take the hate somewhere else, take the immaturity somewhere else. In the future, if somebody's going to tune in and, well, Renee Box Young and Lavar are hating on T.O., shut up. Just take that somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? We love him. We're just speaking what we want to see. That's all. And
Right.
there are other platforms out there and actually defending T.O. Oh, he's undisputed. Yeah, you know, all these haters, they're hating on him because he's undisputed. No, we're just speaking, you know, there are platforms actually defending that, you know, that he really is undisputed. Facts are facts.
No.
Historically speaking, we know what undisputed means. Okay. He's not undisputed.
Right.
Okay. So,
No, he's not. He's
but
not.
you know what, LeVar, I just want to put that to the side as far as that, you know, everybody knows this platform. Anybody who jumps in and thinks that otherwise, y'all can go to somewhere else. Okay. now this is something, LeVar, and I want to talk this up in my next live. It just depends. We'll chop it up. Maybe we'll go tomorrow live to focus on boxing. Check this out. There's something else I want to talk about. Oh my gosh, I could just keep going on and on. Oh my gosh, I love.
I have all the time in the world, my brother. I have all the time in the world.
Okay, wait. Now it just came out, bro. I'm on BFTB. Salute to the gravedigger over there, man. Bro, he had Bill Haney. I'm sorry, yeah, Bill Haney. You know, Devin Haney's father and Batman on. They're talking about really getting this Gary Russell fight down, bro, versus Haney, man. Oh my gosh. And they said, okay, let's do it. And you know what, bro? Listen, please. I mean, I understand to a certain extent. You don't make fights through social media, but there are platforms out there that are getting these guys together and talking and ironing out details. That's the advantage to a certain extent, the digital era we're living in, family. What did recently Gary Russell even talked about it. He said, I was contacted by Eddie Hearn through Instagram, direct message. He gave me an offer, you know, to fight Warrington 1 million, but I'm not going to sell myself short. Whatever the heck he said. It's too low for him. Whatever. I frowned upon that. But the reason why I say this is because, ladies and gentlemen, there are advantages to digital media nowadays, guys. So BFTB on his platform, guys. You know, Bill Haney was there, Batman was there. They ironed out details. They want to make the fight, bro. Heck yeah. So they said that Monday is going to be the day where Batman's going to give a response. He went to I think it was on Friday or something like that. You know, that Batman was going to go to Gary Russell because Bill Haney came on and said, hey, we want to make the fight still. You see, Devin Haney and his team, ladies and gentlemen, they're real. I'm not going to say they're not sitting here selling wolf tickets. Devin Haney and his dad, they're about it. They want to fight. They want to go out there and fight. That's all they want to do. You know what I'm saying? And Bill Haney and Batman were talking about it, and Batman was talking about, you know what, the reason why Gary Russell didn't take the Devin Haney fight is because of his dad. R.I.P. Rest in power. You know, to his pops. My condolences. I've talked about it before. All my condolences to Gary Russell and his family. I understand that. You know what I'm saying? But now they're talking about, you know, Batman said, you know what, I'm going to go to Gary Russell and tell what he says. And you know, BFTB or something like that. They're in the platform. They were talking about, okay, so if Gary Russell says no, then we know what it is now. So Lord willing, man, today's going to be the day, approximately these days, that we're going to get a definite answer, bro, between Devin Haney and Gary Russell. Gary Russell, he has to take this fight, bro. I mean, enough of the back and forth. This would be an amazing fight, bro. A great alternative for Devin Haney. Don't you think so?
Absolutely, man. It'll be a great fight, and I'm glad that both sides can come together and try to make this happen. I hope they do make it happen. But you know, like what I said, man, talking and doing is two different things. So I hope so, man. And hey, salute to the underrated darkness out there, man. Hey, man, I love your work, brother. You know, I love when you're on Black Star Sports TV, man. I love what all y'all have to say, man. And salute to you.
Definitely. So the reason why I bring this up with Devin Haney and Gary, it sounds like it's possibly in the works, ladies and gentlemen. Kind of premature, but on our next live, we can break that down a little bit more, man. We're about to go. We almost got 2 freaking hours. Man, I love it, Lavar. I love this, bro. Didn't have time to get to the chat. Yeah, underrated. Salute, family right there, man. Thanks so much for jumping in. Eric R says, think of this, Haney, Teofimo, Tank, Colbert, Stevenson. Oh, my gosh.
Absolutely.
Love it. Man, so Yeah, man. So, man, closing words, bro. We're gonna clock out, man. Great live. Last words, Lavar.
Hey, Renee, once again, man, it's an honor coming up here talking sports boxing with you, man. And hopefully everybody is aware about bare knuckle fighting, man. If y'all don't know about it, definitely check it out. Like you said, boxing is my number one love, my number one sport. But I do appreciate you allowing me to come on your platform to talk to you about boxing. And I get a little break from the kids. And to everyone out there in the chat, thanks for tuning in. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. Hit that like button, hit that post notification bell so that you can get all the latest and new content when Renee posts it. Make sure you mask up and make sure you wash your hands because this pandemic is no joke.
Definitely, y'all stay safe, stay healthy, take care of you and yours, man. And I really appreciate those who jumped in, man. We're talking a little bit about Bkfc, definitely. And then we started talking boxing because they relate. I mean, they relate, you know what I'm saying? And some of these Bkfc events are definitely worth talking about, which is exactly the reason why we came out and talked about this Knucklemania. Great. If anybody tune in later, go ahead and go to the playback. I mean, this is just great stuff we're talking about in sports, you know what I'm saying? And in boxing. So Lavar Cooper, thank you so much for jumping in. And those who jumped in, tune into live. Yeah. Those who commented in the live chat, man, all you guys, go ahead and share this because you already know. We're doing new things in Renee Boxion. We're keeping it clean. We're keeping it respectful. We're keeping it as neutral as possible because that's the new thing we're doing here, man. We're speaking new things here. And I really appreciate you. That's a new, unique approach we have in our platform, man. It's our platform. Like I say before, it's our. I'm not sitting here saying it's me. I'm the one who did this. No, this is our platform. We're a family. We are a community. Stay safe, each and every one of you out there, man. Until the next one, peace out, man, and keep a lookout for the Flash Live coming up this week. Definitely, we're going to chop up boxing, more in depth, more exhaustively, as we usually do. Thanks so much once again, Lavar, for jumping on. And Renee Boxion, peace out. Stay safe, fam. Amen. Thank you guys so much. Peace.
Peace. Be safe.
All right, just